Hello everyone. Thank you for joining the $5 journey. I'm Anomaly. I'm just driving right now. And briefly, I just want to talk about the power of 72. So that's a way of calculating using compound interest how long it will take your money to double. So let's say you start off with $1,000. How long will it take at a certain interest rate for your money to get to $2,000? How long will it take for that $2,000 to get to $4,000, and that $4,000 to get to $8,000? Okay, how long that will take? Albert Einstein came up with this theory, this kind of calculator. He called it the power of 72. So basically, what that means is, or how you figure that out, is you take 72. All right. You know, let's just say, I don't want to get into algebra, but let's say on the other side of the equal sign it says 72. All right, now let's say you have an interest rate of 9%. All right, so when you take 9%, or when you take 72 and you divide it by 9, that gives you 8. So that means at an interest rate of 9%, it would take 8 years for your money to double. Okay, so if you had, let's say you started off with $3,000, all right, and you're at a 9% interest rate, all right, let's say you start, let's say at the age of 16, you put your money into an account that, maybe a mutual fund account, or some other account, some financial vehicle that's giving you 9% interest per year, 9% compound interest per year. So that means that $3,000, it would take 8 years before it becomes $6,000. Okay, and then another 8 years before that $6,000 becomes $12,000, and so on and so forth. So if you start at age 16, and I had my first job when I was 8 years old. I mentioned it in the book, The $5 Journey. Pick up a copy. Me and my good friend, we grabbed some hedge trimmers and a beat up lawnmower, and we went to town. We were just knocking on different doors and asking people if they wanted their hedges trimmed, their grass cut, that kind of thing. We made a pretty decent amount of money that summer. A lot of video game money, I'll tell you that right now. So it was splurged, obviously. You know, I didn't have the $5 journey to give me any guidance on what to do with the money. Not that I would have listened at the ripe age of 8, but anyways, you guys get the hint. So let's say at 16 you have $3,000, and you put that into a financial vehicle that is giving you an interest rate of 9%. That means that in 8 years, going by the power of 72, 8 years, right, when you take 72 divided by 9, right, 8 years it'll take before that $3,000 turns into $6,000. So that means that at the age of 16, that when you are 24, then you will have $6,000 in your account. Okay. Now, let's just assume that you don't add anything more. You just let that money just grow and grow and grow. That means that at the age of 32, you will have $12,000 in your account, right? Because now it's doubled again. All right, it'll take another 8 years to double. So that means at the age of, let's see, you're 32. At the age of 40, right? You'll have, let's see, we started with 3,000, 6,000, and then $12,000, right? You'll have $12,000 in your account. So every 8 years, it'll continue to double using compound interest. Now, you can use that for any amount. Now, here's the thing. Here's the common misconception that I just wanted to mention briefly. Sometimes we think that, let's go back to that example. Sometimes we think that if it takes 8 years for my money to double, right, to get 100% interest, pretty much, then that means at 4 years, I'll have 50% interest. Well, it doesn't work like that. Compound interest doesn't necessarily work in a kind of a straight line fashion, all right? Compound interest is more, so a straight line would, you know, just kind of go up straight. I hope I'm doing that straight. Compound interest kind of is, I don't know, this is parabolic shaped, kind of like this, right? It kind of curves up. All right, so over time the increase is more and more and more. All right, all you people who are in love with algebra can appreciate the formula of slope, right? It increases over time. It doesn't stay constant. All right, it doesn't stay like a regular line that goes up. It increases over time. So if it takes 8 years to double at 9% interest, that doesn't mean that it's going to take 4 years for you to get 50% of what it is. If it takes 8 years for you to get 100%, right? It's not going to take 4 years for you to get 50%. It'll take longer than that. Okay. Now, I just wanted to go with another example real quick. So we use the example of, let's say you had 9% interest rate. Well, let's say you had 6%. Okay, that's 6% interest rate. All right, now you still use the same exact formula. 72, the power of 72, right? You take 72, you divide it by 6%. And what would that mean? That means that it would take 12 years for your money to double. So in that same situation where you're at 16, you have $3,000, all right, but let's say you put it in a financial vehicle that is yielding you 6% interest per year. Well, what happens is, sorry, that's a police officer. Want to make sure you make some room for them. Anyways, so at 6% interest rate, it's going to take 12 years before that $3,000 turns into $6,000. So if you started off at the age of 16, then it would be 28 when you see $6,000. That's assuming you don't add anything else to the account. Okay, so that is a quick little talk about the power of 72. Check me out on Twitter at Anomaly 197711. You can hit me on my email, anomaly1977@outlook.com. I'm on Facebook, right? The $5 Journey page. And of course, you can continue to check me out here on YouTube. Hopefully this was helpful. If you have any comments, leave them in the comment section below. As usual, I'm around. Let's keep hustling. Let's use the power that comes with compound hustle, the power of 72, which is compound interest, right? And let's get a side hustle. If you are lacking in any area, like let's just say you're just scraping by, and you want to start that passive income, or you want to start, being able to get $5 extra per day to add into a financial vehicle, work on that side hustle. Okay, work on that, that part-time job, or that real estate referrals, or whatever else you can kind of think of, a passion, a hobby, any of that kind of stuff. All right, let's get it going. Don't just sit around with your head in your hands or your lap or whatever, thinking that money's gonna just fall from heaven. Okay, it doesn't necessarily work like that. You have the ability to get up and to go out and to make do what you can about improving your financial situation. All right, if there's if for whatever reason you're stuck, and you feel like it's hopeless, that's probably just your mind getting at you. Okay, you got to be able to overcome those kinds of things. And if you feel that way, again, I'm not a counselor, I'm not a financial advisor, I'm not a CPA or anything like that, but just a person who cares. So you can feel free to shoot me an email. All right, take care.